Hey everyone! We'll start very shortly, so make sure to grab your pencils and be ready for what's to come. I think we can get going, right? So I won't keep you waiting anymore. Let us begin. Hello everyone and welcome to my little stream. Today we'll be drawing quite a bit, another 2 hours. And if you want to join, of course you can, or if you'd like to just listen or do whatever else in your spare time in the meantime, I am very happy with whatever you choose. So I will begin, of course, as I've already shown in the last streams, with the warm-up exercise. Then we'll go to some other exercise where we are learning something new. And after that, we'll start a little project so that we can use what we've learned in a practical manner. First of all, I want to say that I've read a bit about the copyright stuff on YouTube and stuff related to nudity, and if you are allowed to draw it or to use it as reference maybe. And what I've gathered is if it is taken out of context, it can very easily make your video, make it to go under the restrictions they have. So it will be removed. That's what I'm trying to say. So because of that, because it's very easy to take out of context parts of a stream, of a video, I think it's better if we stay off of any references that show nudity of any kind that's described in the YouTube terms of agreement. And other than that, also depicting nudity in drawings, again, I think for the sake of this stream, we are here to learn, okay? So, the part about the anatomy of the human body, it is very important, but we'll leave the lessons that regard parts related to nudity to do on our own, right? So that we do not infringe on those copyright laws that YouTube has imposed already. And yeah, it's just a part of the body. It's not like I don't want to go through all the muscle types and the skeleton and who knows, maybe organs, to understand how things work in the body, to get to draw them a little bit, in general, to know stuff about them. But yeah, other than that, I think we'll keep this kind of content, we'll keep it off the channel. That's what I'm trying to say. Other than this, this subject, I've also read a bit about copyright stuff, as I said, and what I want to say is that I'm not sure if the images that I've used already to explain stuff, or related to the proportions of the body, or the ones about the head, I'm not sure if they are copyright free. I didn't check before, and of course that is my mistake. So for today's lesson, I don't think we will use any of those images. I will try to explain what I've researched a little bit beforehand using only drawings that I will be making, and afterwards in the project phase, that's already only creativity. It has nothing to do with references this time. Last time it did. I had some references that I drew some inspiration from. I'll just have to study the subject a bit more, because I'm not sure if I can show you, the viewer, the references that I'm using for a certain drawing, right? And if I can show you, do they necessarily have to be copyright free, or do I have to have the rights, for them, so that I can only show them to you, even if I'm using them as reference? It's a bit of a tricky subject, and I will rather, study it a bit more than make some more mistakes. I'm not sure I made a mistake already, but just to be on the safe side, I'm just letting you know from the start. That's how we'll do things this time. And for the next episode, I will make sure to study things a bit more and to see if we can go back to using references, just as we did in the last episodes. Apart from that, I have something to show you. I've been working on a little project that we've talked about already 2 episodes ago, I think. And I will just drag something onto the page now. There we have it, right? So I've made this little page which says draw straight lines. It says this on top of the page. So what I want to do with it is try to use it as a guide for our warm-up exercises. It's the first one that I've managed to do. I would like to to extend it to cover the whole page, so that we use everything that we have at our disposal. But this is just for trial purposes, let's say. I want to see if it works out, and if it does, if it feels okay for me. I didn't get to test it yet. If it feels okay, I will share it with you, and I will make something like a drive, like a folder somewhere, so that I can add all of those exercises that I will be doing, that I will be creating. And of course, those are not my exercises. I want to say again, as I said before, those are exercises that I found already for me, just my experience, right? I found them on the site Draw a Box. Yeah, so you can check that out. It's full of useful information. But yeah, those are not my exercises, but I'm just creating those exercise sheets because I think they can be useful for you to learn out of, to learn from, right? And yeah, apart from that, I think we're good, right? I think we don't have any issues regarding that. If you do, if you have observations about that, I don't think it's a problem, because they are exercises, right? Why can't we use exercises to teach other people? And of course it's free. Like you don't have to pay anything. I will just add them to the drive, and we can all learn from each other in that way. More precisely, you will learn from the exercises that I put there. But anyways, the idea is to start learning. Oh my god, that line. Okay, try to focus, right? Try to follow the dots. Okay, this very difficult. Whew. Yeah, it's tricky. it's tricky if you don't practice, right? If you don't practice more often, it's pretty hard. And I guess, you know, those dots, those dots can help me figure out how far am I missing, right? How difficult is it really for me to draw those lines? I think it's a good exercise. I think the dots are useful. Oh, difficult. Very difficult. Indeed. Oh. Remember the stuff about the ghosting, right? I'm not using that right now. But let's try once more. Okay? I'm trying to get as much as much of the page on the screen so that my hand will have to travel quite a bit. It's a bit more difficult that way, right? But it's important so that we can learn. Yes. So for the next time, you will have this sheet as well, and you will be able to practice along if you want to. And I will make more of those, as I said, of all the exercises that I know for warm-up and that I think are good. Most definitely there are so many that you can do whatever, but those are just the exercises that helped me along the way, that I find challenging still, and you can pick from them and do some of them. Yeah, I think the best way you can see how the lines are is if you look at the first couple of ones, because then you'll see how many dots you've actually touched with your lines. Let's try the other way, right? From right to left, because again, this is multi-purpose. You can use it both ways. Okay, this is difficult. This is quite difficult. I have no idea what's happening, honestly. I think I'm going under. Yep. Ooh. My muscles hurt from this. But it's important, right? It's important to go through the warm-up. It's important to do it. And then we'll be prepared to move on to other exercises. Oh, okay. Just try your best. That's important. Do your best. Okay, moving on. Let's make another one. Yeah, again, I can notice that I have this tendency of going under. Let's try to, not that way, but try to fix that. Try to tell my muscles what to do. They do those curves, but this is quite difficult. I'm gonna try to keep my hand a bit, a bit less tense, a bit less tight, I guess, to see if the lines look or feel any better. Yeah, I see. I think there is a bit of improvement, but still. Oh, this line was nice. Let's do one more page, just because that last line was nice. Okay. the idea is to try and stop before. Yeah, you can see there, right? I went quite under. Try to stop before the page ends so that you can challenge yourself a bit more. Yeah, this is difficult. And that is nice. It's important to be difficult. So otherwise it would be boring. Oh, those I find those difficult with the point in the middle, because you know you want to hit it, right? But you want to end in that last point as well. I think when you have less points is a bit easier, at least for the brain, right? If we look there, oh, those lines, they go over each other. Okay, I think that's good for this kind of exercise. I will prepare more, as I've said, more pages with some lines on diagonal, and then we'll have the ones for the ovals that we're supposed to be doing. So I'll be doing some of those ovals right now, and I'll try as well to see if I can draw some lines, right, that are a bit straighter without the guides. So the guides are very challenging, so I only recommend you use them a couple of times. Oh, let's go back there. Just use them a couple of times, you know, to just see how it goes. But if you are struggling with them, leave them be, return next time, you know. We don't have to do something until we get I don't know, the perfect result, let's say, even though perfect doesn't exist. But the important part is exercising, the exercise itself, warming up the muscle, getting ready for what's next. That's what matters. Okay, so now, as you see, I'm trying to get those ovals beneath the upper line and above the lower line, and at the same time try to end them, you know, close them. Don't let ovals open. And it is challenging, yes, as well. But that's why we're here, right? We're here to learn, to exercise. It's important also to observe, to look at what you've done and see what's up with that. You know, pay attention. As I'm doing right now, you see, I tend to do this to go on the inside. As I was saying, I tend to go on the inside with those, but it's alright. Some of those are a bit better. And also, don't forget to drink water. It's extremely important. And as I said, right, it's extremely important. That's good. That's nice. Oh, what's going on? I'm not sure what's this. I got a notification, but you didn't see it, I think. No, it didn't show. Weird. Anyways, back to our ovals. Oh, also, regarding the copyright stuff I was talking about earlier, I read about the music part. Because, you know, I'd like to have a bit of music at the beginning of the stream, maybe even a bit of music at the end, who knows. But for that, I can use the library that YouTube provides, the library of free music, free copyright music. Or otherwise, it's quite a long process to get the copyright for any song. And not get the copyright, get permission to use the song. That's what I mean to say. And afterwards, there can also be problems after quite a bit of time, But let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, but I think I'll go through the library that YouTube has for the moment and see what they offer. I want something relaxing, of course, for the start and also for the end of the stream. Because, at least for me, it's the end of the day. And I want to relax a bit. Also do something productive, but at the same time, have fun with it. Enjoy. And I recommend you do the same. Find those moments to do something nice. Nope. Yeah, so the challenge mostly is composed of 3 parts. One is drawing in between the lines, but also trying to touch the lines if possible. The other challenge is drawing next to the oval on the left, and the last challenge is trying to make a closed oval. So sometimes it works, one of them works out, sometimes 2 of them, rarely 3, but that's what we are hoping for, that's what we are working for. Okay, I think this covers up the warm-up pretty nicely, and we can move on to something different, to the exercise, the first one that I thought about for today. So as I said earlier, we're not going to use reference images because I'm not sure if I am allowed to do that, if they are copyrighted, So I will have to look into that more, if they are usable for art purposes, or if not, find some free stock images that I can use as reference. But until then, until I figure that out and make sure that the stuff that I'm using is right, okay, for the channel, then we will try to explain this. And I will try to use some basic drawings, stickman drawings, right? To explain what I will be showing you next. So what I wanted to talk about today was poses, was drawing poses of, first of all, analyzing the poses of some images. So you can do that on your own, you can search on Pinterest or whatever, or on Google search images. You can look for some athletes, okay, because those are really good photos where you can look at the different poses, the dynamic poses that those people exaggerate, but they exaggerate it naturally, because that's just how sports work, right? You're exerting yourself a lot and you have to push yourself to the limit, so it can be shown in the body, in the muscles, in the pose. But for the purposes of this exercise and explanation, first of all, I want to explain to you that, if we have a human body, right, that's gonna be a little stickman here. I'm trying to follow the proportions that we talked about last time, just in general, right? So we have this little stickman, okay? So the pose here is very static. I'm gonna change the color to show you that, it's pretty basic, right? Hands next to the body. They don't create any curves. You can almost place a box around this person, and so this pose is mostly like a box, right? It's very static. It's it can be strong, let's say, imposing, maybe. It depends on more about the character, how it looks, what kind of clothes he's wearing or she. But a different pose, something more dynamic, would mean that first of all, the spine gets some curvature of some kind. And we can have the head here, right, at the end of the spine. But then have to think about the hands as well, right? So we can have two hands that are like this, that are ready for, I don't know, fighting or something. Think about this area, right? And then the legs that are, oh, he's prepared to attack, I think. Yeah, if we draw the legs like this, or either he's running, or she, or it, the stickman, the stick figure. Okay, so now you no longer see this static pose in this character. It's a bit more dynamic. It's a little bit, because we can see a line of action. And the line of action, from what I've heard and what I saw, what I read, the line of action follows the curvature of the spine. So it should be one straight curve. And we can have, this is, I think, the main line of action. And we can have different lines of action, secondary ones that are more complex, like, let's say you'll have, let's draw it with blue. Let's say one is more complex like this, right? Because it also shows what happens with the legs. And then from this you have the splits. You can have more lines of action that try to express how the hands behave, maybe how both the legs behave, right? And adding the head somewhere. But the idea is to keep it quite simple, because that's very useful for when you're drawing from imagination. So you can think about this stuff, like, what if we have this line of action? Let's draw it with red. This line of action, what does it show us? I'm gonna go the other way, I wanted to show you some references and then discuss this kind of stuff through observation. But I'm gonna go the other way, tell you this first, and we'll try to build the references from it. Basic ones, because I'm not that good at drawing them and expressing them yet. So let's see. So if we have the spine here, right, our character could be in a kneeled pose, right? So it could be standing like this, right? Let's say that one leg is there and one is more like this. I'm thinking of Atlas holding the world on his back, right? You can have the head that's tilted downwards and the hands. Yeah, if we're drawing Atlas, let's draw all the way in the big rock on his back, which is the Earth. So yeah, here you would notice this kind of line of action, main line of action, right? But if we have something more subtle, yeah, it's just that. Here we'll have a huge variety. You know, you can think of so many ways in which this line of action could work into a character. So it could be a character that simply, you know, has all the weight on one leg. That's what I wanted to say, right? And this leg goes like this. All the weight is here, you know. The back is curved slightly, and the hands could be crossed, and here we could have a wall, right? It would be something like that, the line of action. It would follow the spine. But also, this one, this simple one, we can draw it again, yeah, and try to add something to it which is different. Let's see what can we do. Now let's change the shoulders. So the spine has to be like this, which shows us that we need some sort of balance for the legs. So if the legs are like this, maybe this character is jumping over something, right? It could be. So this hand, you know, is like this, and this person just jumped. He's using the momentum to get over a wall or something. But you see, the point I'm trying to make is that the line of action is a very basic part of poses. Is let's say the first part that you think about when you're trying to express something through a pose. So here the line of action would be vertical, because the pose is very stiff. But from here, you know, as you can notice, we have different points, right? Points that show us stuff that's happening with the character, right? So all those separate lines that make up the shoulders and the pelvic area, all of those are important later on, so that we can try to express more information about our characters with the help of those. Here, having them straight, you know. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you basically about the line of action, the most important one, the main line of action, yeah. So other than that, skipping the part of showing you all of the references and drawing on top of them, right, to get a feel of how this line of action would look like on different people, we'll do this kind of study on our own. And for today, because I didn't think about this, early enough, I should have thought about it earlier, because now it's a bit too late to try and solve it. But because of that, I will end the stream half an hour earlier, and right now we'll move on to the project part, where I want you as well, if you want to join me. I want to try and draw from one of those simple lines of action a character, but adding the stuff about proportions that we learned last time. So I'll just show you again. We'll quickly recap, but I'll try to draw something with the use of what we know, what we've learned. And afterwards, after 1 hour, you can try to do those exercises on top of the references, find the line of action, the main line of action, following the spine. Okay? Following the spine of different people in photos that you find wherever on the internet, or not on the internet. You can use magazines, I guess, right, to draw on top. But yeah, until I figure out the stuff about the copyright, I'm just gonna skip it this time. Okay? And until next time, I'll make sure to be more prepared. We're learning together, right? We're learning all sorts of stuff, not just about drawing, but also about streaming, about creating content. Hopefully this is enjoying. I wanted to say something different. Hope you enjoy it, right? That's what I want to say. Entertaining, yeah, that's what I was thinking about. So let's see. Let's try to make one of those lines of action, right? And as I said, it has to be just one curve. So an S-curve complicates things. And we just want to follow the spine of this imaginary character. So I want to do something that leaves quite a bit of space for working on. Let's try to do something like this. Yeah, I think this is good. So this will be a bit more curvature, right? Okay, this will be our line of action mainly, something like that. And based on this, I'll have to add somewhere the spine, right, as a guide, and follow the rules about the different proportions of the body. So quickly, I'll draw here as a reminder for myself as well for you. What are those proportions? So we'll go with 7.5 heads. Those are heads, human heads. And then, you can almost fit 1.5 head on each side. And I think we'll draw a male character this time. So that's why I added a head and a half, because the shoulders should be a bit wider than in a female. Not necessarily all the time, right? But it's just some way to show more feminine characteristics. Now you'll have the neck, and here would be the chest, right? The chest of the male. And then adding the shoulder, right? And the hands. Back. Here is the belly button area, and pelvic area. Yeah, the place for the pelvis. So then add some imaginary musculature, something like that, and the leg, and they're supposed to have the knees somewhere around here. Okay, yeah, so there we have it, a male human. Oh, and hands, yes. Oh, damn. Something like that. So the what's it called? The middle part, right? Should go somewhere in line with this, or maybe a little bit above, I guess. So the palm would be underneath this area. There we have it. Yeah, I think this is pretty fine. Okay. So now that we remember in general how it should look. Hey Scoop, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing fine. What did you see? What are you talking about in the comments? Okay, and let's see if we follow those rules, those general rules. Let's try to apply them in this context. Okay, with this line of action. So let's think about the start of the neck. Start of the neck, like here in the back, right? Let's say it's somewhere around here. And you know, the spine, it curves a bit the other way, opposite to how it used to curve. 7 or 8, yeah, the thing with 7 or 8 circles. Yeah, we talked about it last time as well, with proportions of the human body, but this is very general information. Like 7.5 circles are used for most drawings of anatomy. 7.5 or 8, right? You can even go 8.5 or even 9 when you're talking about statues. But yeah, it's general information. You could have seen it anywhere. But it's very helpful. It's helpful stuff. So now that we have this side, I'm thinking my character is laying somehow on his back. So now I have to imagine something that can help me, the heads, right? So where did the neck stop or start, let's say, in this diagram? Well, it was somewhere beneath the first head, which makes perfect sense. So if we think about it, let's say by gathering knowledge from another stream, yeah, it was last Thursday, indeed. By what I was saying, by gathering knowledge from the first stream, I think, about the head, let's just draw something like an oval, the general shape of an oval, and then connect it to create something like the basis of a cranium, and a nose, and a mouth, and some eyes. Just one eye. There you go. Okay, so if you think about it, right, the spine would connect somewhere there in the back, and we would probably see a bit more from this character, something like this, a bit more of the eye. Oh, it looks like a robot. But yeah, make the character smile so it looks less threatening. Oh god, this is creepy. Okay, no eyes. Our character is sleeping. Okay, for now. Let's not get creeped out about it. Okay, and this is the basic head shape. So the thing is, now that we have a head, we can start thinking about how can we measure the rest of the body based on this line of action. So let's imagine just, grabbing another of those heads, largely, yeah, the general proportions, and you would get something like this. Maybe it's a bit too exaggerated, maybe it's a bit smaller. This is something that would be possible if we use reference, first of all. But now, just for the purposes of explaining the process, it's fine. So now that we have another head, think about the fact that this head, right, let's say the top bit is there and the bottom part is here somewhere, right? So this is the bottom part of the head, of this head. So now here on the bottom you would have the chest area, right? So we can think about the fact that the neck would connect somewhere over here, and the neck goes like around. If the base of the neck could be a circle, but the circle has a sort of is tilted a bit to one side, so the start of the neck for the front is lower than the start of the neck when you look from the back. Yeah, so let's just say it's like a tilted circle, and let's say it goes something like this, the neck. Then you would have the shoulders on one side and the other, and you would have the chest here. So now the chest, how should we make it so that it is a bit more realistical? Let's say, let's draw the basic shape of a male chest. You can think about it, I'm not sure how the muscles work or how they look like, the pectorals, but for general purposes it's fine. I think it's fine. So now, going with this part on the back, right, those muscles that go around the neck, then you have the shoulders here somewhere. Okay, we can imagine another head to help us reach the belly button, yeah, the navel area. So grabbing another head, placing it, I think it follows the proportions more or less. Let's say until over here. We can think that this is the place for the belly button, and we can follow the line, right? The line of action, and we can think that, you know, maybe it's a bit there, but yeah, in general it should be something like this. I think you'll have it connect here, the muscles, guessing. That's why it's good to study all of the stuff, right? Anatomy and poses, the lines of action, and also study proportions, and study. There is a lot to study. Okay, so now let's just draw the basics, right? Just some rectangles, because it's easier to simplify. Okay, so let's say the belly button goes somewhere around here, and then you would have another head, oh, just something like that, that goes to the bottom part, which is the pelvic area. So you can imagine that this body ends there and is a bit tilted, you see, because it follows the line of action. Yeah, so we can say that this is the pelvic bone. Yeah, just use your imagination with me, right? Trust me. And then we'll have the hands, which are very difficult to draw if you don't know how to. But yeah, keep the middle part somewhere above the belly button. Kind of the same line, but this is too small. Guess it's something like that. A bit more realistical, I guess. Anyway, and this one, was it above or below? I don't remember. Okay, so how I drew here was below. Here was above the belly button. This one was a bit below. Okay, so yeah, maybe, I don't know, if we think about it, right? Looking from a distance, I think it's fine like this. It's just that the hands are very skinny, those hands that I drew. So I don't really figure out if they should be longer or not. Maybe they are all right. Oh, and also this, you see, I'm drawing those circles that are like sections through the hands. Also here, if you think about it, right, underneath there would be the rib cage. This person would have a rib cage here, and the rib cage would go like that somehow, you know, around and around, and everything connects. Yeah, so they would have this here, and you can sort of think about how the shape would follow the rib cage, right? If it's a skinny person, then, you know, it would have less fat here, and then you'll have the legs that start from the pelvic area. Okay, so if it's a skinny person, less fat, and the muscles are also a bit smaller, right? But not that small. Okay, try to keep the proportions realistic, kind of, right? And also here, yeah, follow the rib cage, but keep in mind. Okay, so yeah, we did something like this, which seems fine. You know, it looks all right. Here we can simplify by drawing it like this. Yeah, just for ease of understanding. And here, just erasing this part, make it a bit clearer. Yeah, you can think of it as this, you know, like the legs start from here. So now let's see how many heads we needed to get to the knees. So we needed like 1 3/4, maybe, right? 1.5, 1 3/4. So now adding a head over to this side, checking it out, you know, placing it correctly. It checks out, 1 head, okay, and another half, let's say. So yeah, here we would have the knees. So in order to place the knees correctly, not make the legs too small, I think we'll make them go here, right? I think this is fine. And another knee going over here. Okay, so I think it's more like this. We'll have another knee over here. Okay, the knees. And then we had another circle and a half that has also the feet included in it. So now we think about it like this. Okay, another and a half that's included. I'd make it like this to keep things more realistically. You know, I think we can stop somewhere around here, but not less than that. Okay, so now if you think about it, the muscle goes more like this. Okay, this is a big muscle, this muscle of the leg. So yeah, keep that in mind when drawing it. Oh, a bit more, you know. The leg is a bit bigger. And there. Now this part of the leg is too small compared to the other one. It also isn't long enough. You see? Trying to figure out all the time. This is bigger, you know, and then we have to make it a bit smaller. Also, it's a bit further away from the camera, so it should be a bit smaller. Now let's think, yeah, maybe cut a bit from here, right? Sort of like a surgeon or something. But no, this is not hurtful at all. Okay, so we have the legs, and then we have the feet. So the feet, I think they can be made quite simple by doing this. Think about the fact that, you know, you'll have a bigger finger here and then 4 smaller ones, and they also go in an arc, right? So if the big finger is there, you'll have the toes over there. So if you think about it, yeah, let's try and draw. This is difficult. Without reference or anything is difficult. But just having fun, you know, trying my best. I think that's what you should do as well, you know, have fun with it. Do your best. The result doesn't matter. We're learning here. Okay, so let's say yeah, this doesn't look realistic at all. But that's fine. Yeah, because I'm not sure how to do it, you know, how to show that this is what I want, right? But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll learn anatomy someday. It's fine. And then here we have one as well. So we'll have to draw same way, but remember, try to keep it proportional, right? So here would be the big finger, the big toe, then small fingers to the side. Okay? And again, same thing. Right? Goes a bit back over here towards the heel. Oh. Yeah. Something like that. And then yeah, I think it connects just like that. Okay. So yeah, for this I think references are extremely useful. And so truly I want to figure out what to do about the references and how to use them properly. Don't want to make mistakes or something and then have the videos deleted, you know. But it would be quite, you know, upsetting at first, of course, but understandable. So yeah, just figure out what are the rules about this stuff. Maybe look at other artist channels and how have they used references. Did they tell you know, in the description more details about where they picked the reference from, or have they used only free images? So this foot in particular looks very small. I'll make it a bit bigger. Move it there, and now I think it's fine. Yeah, looks a bit more like a foot now. It's just kind of. Okay, so now that we had the line of action and we have the body somewhat proportional. I'm saying somewhat because of course this most likely gets better with a lot of practice, a lot of time. Right now in the beginning, I think it's important to do it, stick with it, keep drawing, trying to erase that dot and keep it simple. Yeah, learn what we can and practice based on that. So now the hands, right? The hands follow some sort of rule similar to this curve, you know. The curve goes like this because the little finger, you just have to look at your hands, right? There is this kind of curve that can be followed. Now if you think about the fingers, right, if you split them in 4, but this hand, you know, seems like it's a bit clutched, I think is the word. Looks a bit weird though. No, I wanna have it, you know, open. Keep the fingers open, please. For the purposes of this exercise, I want to see the fingers. And the middle finger a bit bigger. Then the little finger. Quite smaller than the rest. And yeah, I think it would be something like this, you know? More like that. Looks very weird. Very weird. Why does it look so weird? Let me think about it. I think it's not natural how it sits, you know. What would be more natural would be something like this, where you just don't see the thumb. Like that. Maybe. No, I'm trying to figure it out. Might take a while. And I guess, yeah, you know, this would be more natural. 'Cause nobody has their fingers just like that. They usually, if they stick together, they curve like this downwards. And you'd also have the thumb, as I said, the other side. But this looks more realistical than before. This middle finger, the little finger, yeah, causes some troubles. Yeah, hands are very difficult to draw after such a long pause from drawing. But going back to the other hand, let's try to figure out something, or make it just so that you don't see the hand. I guess. Oh well. I guess one hand is enough for today. There we have it. Okay, so we have this human body, this basically, you know, mannequin for the rest of our drawing. And now, in the other half hour that we have left, I can keep that like just like that, and the line of action, make it a bit harder to see. Don't forget to drink water. And yeah, this time we won't take a break. No, we'll just go on. All right, so now let's try to figure out, this person definitely is relaxing, right? So it has something like a chaise longue. It has to. That? Maybe like this, because it's a bit in perspective. If you think about perspective, you know, Remember the lessons we have learned before. Basically, a place where you can relax. Nothing more, nothing less. It is fine. Right, it is fine. Okay. And now move this to another side, and again low opacity, because I want to draw above. And let's think of some hair, correct? This person needs hair, and we can think of something, some sort of shape. The hair could go like this, or it can go like that. You can follow the head like this, I guess. And it goes around the ear. And here. And yeah, it could just, you know, spill all over the place. Okay, so this person has quite a bit of hair, their head. And here is the ear. Right? So the hair could have something like this, you know, flow towards the back. Yeah, this seems fine. Oh, sorry about that. It's just that it's been quite a long day. I hope you're doing fine after your day. Maybe this is at the beginning of your day, in which case, hope you'll have a great day. Of course, there are good days and bad days. So, you know, make the best of what you got. I think that's important. Getting all serious all of a sudden. Okay, so this is some hair. It looks like a wig, 100%, and that's fine, because I didn't go through any kind of lessons to learn stuff about hair. That's something to do in the future. You know what? Hair is interesting. We could have a lesson about hair next time. You know, that could be useful. At least for me. I'm interested in it. So why not? I think that's what we're gonna do. I was searching for ideas for other streams, you know, and this is a very good one. So a lesson about hair. Let's make the nose a bit more interesting as well. There we go. And yeah, more realism. And just a bit. Just a tiny bit. But yeah. So a lesson about hair. What else? What else is important? Well, you know, anatomy. Once you go into anatomy, there's a whole lot of stuff to learn. You just go through all the bones first of all, and then go to muscles, then you add some skin, you think of fat deposits around the body. What else? What else is there to learn about the human body? Organs, I said? Yeah, I said earlier, I think. You can learn a lot about organs if you want to. They're interesting. No, just for general knowledge, they are very interesting. But for the purposes of drawing, again, they can be helpful. Never know when you'll have to draw some action scenes and, I don't know, people shooting each other, or maybe you have to draw something medical related. You'll have to have a bit of knowledge about surgery. You can think about that, you know. Okay, drawing the lips here. That's a bit too big. Just like that. Okay. What else about anatomy, though? This is the point of the chin. I guess hair is part of it, right? So it's something important that we could learn. I don't know, I got a skin, so that's, I guess, about it. But other than that, you have proportions which you should keep in mind all the time. When I'm saying you, I'm mostly speaking about myself, you know, because it's me who wants to learn first of all, and that's why I'm doing those streams, because I want to learn more. And yeah, it's me who has to learn all of that and wants to learn all of that in order to better draw in the future. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's the part about anatomy. There is also composition to learn. There is shadowing. Shadowing? Don't think it's called shadowing though. Drawing shadows, it's not called shadowing. I'm not sure what it's called. Shading. Shading, it's called shading. Yeah, thankfully my brain gives me information from time to time. Not all the time, but from time to time. I think we can add some clothes, or maybe not clothes, but just underwear over here, because it would make sense for someone to relax in the sun. So yeah, some boxers, I guess, work out pretty fine. But yeah, what I was talking about is shading, colors, right? That's something which is very, very interesting to learn about, and I think it's a very wide subject. And I'm talking about those things as if, you know, you learn one, you move on, you learn another, you move on. That's not how it works. From what I figured out, and from the many professionals that I've listened talking about this subject, you don't do that. You learn something for a while, you improve on it, but you learn something else as well. You don't just stick to, or maybe you do for some time, but you don't just stick to one particular thing if you want to learn how to draw in its vastness You know, if you want to study this skill in all of its facets, because of course you could be learning how to draw anatomy and become very good at drawing anatomy, and that's it. You know, you have specialized in drawing illustrations of anatomical parts, and that's your thing. But that also implies you possibly know color theory, right? You know, composition, so that you can place your illustrations in a book or in media format, right? So there's more skills that you know, that you would know if you did that. Here it's a bit too tight. If you're thinking about this sorts of, you know, boxers, they would be less tight around the leg area. But yeah, what I want to say was, yeah, you will learn multiple things suited for what you need. I think that's fair. And so you don't stick to just one thing. Learn a whole bunch of stuff. And you learn it in your own time, and you try to implement what you learn. To use it in projects. Combine the information. Combine the knowledge. And try to do your best in your projects. Because you will create stuff for yourself or for clients that might not be so valuable in that moment when you're creating it. You might just say, I just have to do this project and get it over with, right? And then I can move on to learning something different, and maybe it will be a bit more interesting than what I'm doing now, but you know, who knows, and all of that. But if you treat projects like, you know, the most important thing in that moment, creating that project is, let's say, it's why you live in that moment. I think if you treat it like that, it's quite impossible to not see results faster than you would if you thought about it like a burden, like something that you just have to do because you have to, because everyone says you have to. You have no way out, you know? So you just do it. You just make those projects. Put your heart and your soul into it. You'll see how many wonderful things will happen. Because when you do that, I've done the same, you know. I've thought about projects like, oh, just another thing that I have to do now because, you know, they just say so. And the results have been mediocre at best. But I think the best stuff that I managed to ever create was when I was completely lost in the process. I was there, you know, I didn't want to do something great. I just wanted to be there, pay attention, try to do my best. That's it. And that's when I was relaxed. That's when I searched for many ideas. Just tried to combine all of those into something of my own creation. And I think that's how it should be. That's how it should work. Try to pay a lot of attention to what you're doing. Yeah. Pay attention to exercises. Pay attention to those lines, those little lines that we have to draw everywhere. Most likely good stuff will come out of this. That's what I tell myself. And even if it isn't so, I'm enjoying what's happening. So, you know, it's life. Oh, there we go. That's pretty nice. Okay, so now I think about it, right? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to draw the fingers. I guess something similar to this looks pretty fine. Yeah, kind of. Again, kind of. Can't wait to spend a lot of time on drawing hands. Fingers especially. It's not that easy. It's easier to look at your hand than to draw it. But what if we say that truly looking means understanding and then being able to draw? Then I've got more work to do. More work looking. Okay, so we draw this, right? We have some muscles here that I know nothing of. Biceps, triceps. I don't know where they go. I don't know how they look like. This one here is like this, I guess. And then the hand. Yeah, drawing on intuition is something else, which is not necessarily good, you know. I'm gonna try something different. I'll just try to draw the fingers like this. Just see what happens. See if it helps, you know? Because I don't know how to show that this is the underneath part. I don't know how to show that. But this, I think, looks a bit better than what was before. I think that's fine. And now the same for this. Nope. No. Maybe like this. But right now, I'm very happy with the fact that I'm here, that I'm able to draw, and I'm grateful for being able to do this. And you know, the title of this stream was Building the Habit, right? I think it's something like that. Yeah, building the habit. That's what it's all about. Taking this thing that I enjoy doing and making it important enough for me. Because it's, how should I put it? It is already very important for me, but apparently it wasn't a priority for a long time. So there can be things that are important for you, but they are not priorities. So now the challenge is to make it a priority. Willfully. Bring into existence what this is supposed to be for you, what you want it to be. Bring into existence this energy, because it's there, you know. In me, I feel this creative energy was, you know, hanging around, not doing much, from time to time creating something random, maybe participating in some sort of little project where I can express myself in some way, but it wasn't focused. It was just but random. And you know, if we leave things just to chance, not much is going to change. So yeah, the important thing is building a habit out of it, treating this with respect, right? The respect it deserves. There we go. And I think we can get closer to an end, right? We skipped a part today, unfortunately, because I didn't understand more clearly what's up with the terms and services of YouTube, if I'm allowed or not to use images that I just found for references for those exercises. And I don't want to do things, you know, just like without any sort of how should I call it, without looking into it beforehand, without figuring out what's up, what are the rules. Because if I were to make pictures, like take pictures, not make pictures. If I were to take pictures and put them on the internet, and somehow, you know, some version of them would reach Google. It's not the original, it's not the high quality version, but it's just random stuff, random low pixel version. Then, you know, it's my work there. I would love to be compensated for it, if I so decided to do, you know, because there are people who just put them up for free and use them. Right now, of course, I'm not making any sort of money from this, but I'm just saying, I'm using them, or I would be using those photos to stream to people. Other people would see the photos. So then, is it enough to call the artist to say, hey, this is from this and this and this. Go check them out. Pay them a visit. They're doing very cool stuff. Is that enough? I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah, looking at it, right? Whew. The line of action is there. We have some sort of character. We have tried to follow the proportions as well as I could. And that's something. Guess I learned something today. Maybe. Hopefully. But surely it was fun. It was nice spending some time drawing, as always. Let's grab some more water and move towards an ending for this stream. Thank you for hanging around. Thank you for watching this. If you've gone so far, you're really involved, and I appreciate it a lot. Other than that, hope you're having fun drawing, if that's what you choose to do during the stream. Hope this was helpful in some way. This sort of interactive, not that much though. This sort of lesson where I learn as well during the process. So not that much of a lesson, but this learn together stuff that I'm doing here. Yeah. Have a great and wonderful rest of the day, wherever you are, whoever you are, and I hope you had fun. I will see you next week with just another stream, and most likely we will be drawing and learning more about hair. So, see you there. Bye bye. Have a fun time.